Welcome back to Area DMG. I'm your host, Phil Bussey, the Mile High Mouth, and for today's episode of Suki Nihon, we are looking at Season 7, Episode 29 of Adventure Time, Beyond the Grotto. So this starts with Finn waking up and discovering that the Sea Lard has decided to cuddle up to him. Finn and Jake decide that the Sea Lard is kind of gross and they should probably get rid of it. The Sea Lard is the same one that they got in Bimo Noir, which I think was an episode back in Season 5 or Season 6. A pretty decent little episode. You get to see a little bit of Bimo's internal thoughts. Anywho, they throw it into the pond that's right outside their house, where the water nymphs apparently live. Anyways, they throw it in, and it turns out it's actually quite deep. And then Shelby, the little worm, tells them that, oh, the Sea Lard is a saltwater fish, or whatever. And Finn and Jake are like, well, he sounds smart, so they believe him. So they head in after the Sea Lard. They discover that that little pond actually goes up into a grotto, and in the grotto, they discover the sea nymphs who are singing about smashing frogs and making them into hot dogs. Yeah, that's kind of weird. Anyways, they can't really stay with the sea nymphs because they have to get the Sea Lard back. Sorry, not sea nymphs, water nymphs. And pretty much what happens is the Sea Lard gets sucked into a vortex. And Finn and Jake follow the Sea Lard into the vortex. Before they do that, though, the pond nymphs, or water nymphs, or whatever you want to call them, warn them not to touch the purple. Not to touch the purple stuff. They also tell them, that they're going to mash more frogs and make hot dogs and stuff, and it's kind of cool. But yeah, they end up following the Sea Lard into a vortex. In this vortex, everything's a little bit wibbly-wobbly and different. What's interesting about this episode is it's actually a guest episode. A lot of the stuff was drawn by a lot of the stuff inside the vortex was drawn and animated by Alex and Lindsay Small-Butera, who are known for their Batman and Pataman series of cartoons. They have kind of a loose and very surreal feel to their animation, which comes across perfectly in this. Everything is different colors and slightly off scale, definitely. Finn and Jake are themselves kind of a little doodly, I guess you could say. Similar to if you've ever seen Home Movies or Dr. Kat's Professional Therapist or Psychiatrist. Yeah, that kind of not in motion. That whole, there's a lot of squash and stretch and just beautiful fluid motion in here. Lots of exaggeration and kind of it's got a lazy style to it where everything's just kind of a little, nothing seems to have bones. Anyways, in this weird world, the pond outside their treehouse is Princess Bubblegum, or rather voiced by Princess Bubblegum. There is a Finn and a Jake in this world, and the Jake is kind of like a little sluggy thing, and the Finn of this world is kind of a rabbit. It's weird. They go off following the Sea Lard. They catch the Sea Lard. Before they do that, they run into a rainicorn butterfly, which is kind of amusing. They also run into a flower Marceline who sings a little song about being, a flower and not being something else. And it's fantastic. The way this animation is expressive and awesome. I just really enjoyed the look of this particular episode. It perfectly encapsulates the art style of the people who are guest animating on it. And they did a fantastic job. Like the one they did, the stop motion one, that was perfect. I love that. I like Food Chain. I actually, Water Park Prank, I'm a little bit on. And some of the other ones they've had have been fantastic. I liked A Glitch is a Glitch. That type of stuff. So yeah, but anyways, they perfectly encapsulate this, and there's a lot of music in there too. Anyways, the Sea Lard runs off while they're listening to the Marceline flower, and then they follow the Sea Lard, and then they run into the Princess Purple something or other that's voiced by Tom Kenny. So the Ice King or whatever that world is a Purple King. They get touched by the purple, and it causes them to be just like, oh, to forget things. They forget their names, what they're doing, and they start referring to each other as boy and dog. There's a part there where he's like, there's a part there where that Tom Kenny says something like, oh no, I've purpled you, and it's just pretty funny. Although a little, like the whole thing, just really loose and airy. Lady Rainicorn's a butterfly in this. I thought that was kind of amusing. There's also, you get to see like Choose Goose, see that little fox, and some other stuff. Not bad. Anyways, after he accidentally infects them with the purple, the Ice King or Purple Princess of this particular world flies off, and they're just like, what happens? And then like the Tree Trunks of this world, who is an anteater, an anteater, tells them that she's looking for her rolling pin, which turns out to be the Sea Lard. They take the Sea Lard and they take it back to her, and we get to see her house where she's living with a anthropomorphic, sexy version of Mr. Pig. Then eventually, like, the Sea Lard doesn't want to be a rolling pin, so he escapes, and then Finn and Jake, who are now calling themselves Boy and Dog, decide to go after him, and then they end up running into the Princess Bubblegum Puddle again, who opens up to another vortex, and then the Sea Lard is like, I've had enough, pushing them through it. So the Sea Lard saves them, and it's pretty good. There's a lot of great little lines there. There's a part there where after the Tree Trunks of that world is like crying about her rolling pin, and Boy and Dog are all like, "We're hugs!" And so they give her a hug, and she's like, "Hugs help me help my crying, but they didn't help me get my rolling pin," which I thought was pretty funny. A lot of the little lines in here are that kind of surrealistic, almost dopey style of humor, which I really like in Batman and Spider-Man, which is kind of infringy if you think about it, but still awesome. They have their adventures with Pumpkin and Tentacle and all this other stuff. Yeah, that's actually a pretty funny little series. It's a web series, and we probably wouldn't do anything like that unless it comes out on like DVD or Blu-ray. I mean, we do have stuff that we could cover, but we might not if something's not on DVD or Blu-ray. So anyways, I thought it was pretty great. Sea Lard saved the day, and at the end of it, Finn and Jake have a new appreciation for their mammal, not saltwater fish. And that's the end of that episode. It was pleasant. I liked it. I actually watched it multiple times before doing this review because it's just a cute little episode. This is one of those little random episodes that, while it builds on knowing the characters ahead of time, it's also good on its own. And the music is something that, like, it's nice to see decent music in Adventure Time. I love that. And anytime they get to give Marceline a song is fantastic, even if she is kind of an Undertale style flower. So yeah, I liked it. What did you think of the episode? Let me know in the comments below. Are you one of those people who watches like Batman and Spider-Man? What do you think of that cartoon? I love it too. I'm a big fan of animation. I mean, if you can be like, oh, there's a new thing from Nina Paley or from Don Hertzfeldt, and I'll be like, yes! Love Bill Plimpton too. It's fantastic. So yeah, I love this kind of animation, and I liked this episode a lot. Hit that like button if you like our review discussion of it, and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And until the next video comes out, you are now caught up.